Hi guys, today we are going over Gale database. In order to do so, we do have to actually access it through the Belleville East homepage, which is our school's main web page. In order to get to Gale effectively, you have to go through this process. You can, of course, go through Google and type in Gale resource and find it. However, this is a program that the school does pay quite a bit of money for, which means that if you go through other websites or other links, it is not going to allow you to be able to access the database. Therefore, we do need to start at the Bevel East homepage. That it's going to be bths201.org/east, and it should take you right here. From this point, we do need to get over to the library's main website. There's actually two ways to do that. Up top, I do have offices. Underneath offices, I do actually have a library/media center link. I also have it here in academics as well. If I go down about halfway, I do actually have library and media center. Both links will take you to the exact same location, so it doesn't really matter which one you choose. This, however, is going to be our library's home page. From here, we do actually have access to our databases as well as tons of other information, including research help. So if you are looking for stuff and you come across questions that aren't answered in these videos or aren't answered in class with the help of the teacher, this is actually a great place to go to. However, what we're looking for is the Gale databases. And it's perfect because databases on this banner is actually in blue. It's already in blue. It will always be in blue. This way it grabs your attention and it's easier to find. Once you click on databases, it's going to give you three options. We're looking for Gale. That happens to be the first one. So we'll select it and it's going to open up a brand new tab. Now, Gale databases is actually 6 different databases that are compiled together. With our school here, we have quite a few different options. Now, the first thing that everyone always wants to do, because hey, we're the Google generation, is we look up here and we see this great little power option, this power search option that's up here, and it looks very tempting. Just go ahead and put in your question or put in some keywords and hit that search bar. I do not recommend doing so. I will show you how to use the power search if you choose to use it. Generally, you don't need it, and it tends to cause more problems than it solves, mainly because it ends up spurting out literally anything that deals with your key phrases or keywords from any of the databases, and you just don't generally get what you're actually trying to find. Instead, the easiest way is to look at each of the databases and their description and decide whether or not you think there might be something useful in that particular one. So for instance, the first database we have is called the Gale Virtual Reference Library. Now this is going to be a bunch of scanned in books. It's a lot of encyclopedias and dictionaries and almanacs. The only thing is, I understand it's the first one. I tend to skip it. And I usually encourage students to skip it too. This is because these are scanned in products, which means that it is specific to our library here. In addition, it isn't updated very regularly, which means that you're not going to find a lot of up-to-date resources there. We can almost always find the same information in other databases and have it more current than that one. The second one is going to be global issues and context. This one's actually a great one to go to simply because it gives you a variety of viewpoints, especially from international sources, and it talks about topics that aren't just particular to the United States, but also to the global community. So this is an awesome one. I do highly recommend it. Third one on our list is opposing viewpoints. This is also one that I do highly recommend, especially when you're doing a paper like an argumentative research paper. This is going to show you already topics that have been debated either by the United States or as the global community, and always gives some really good arguments for and against. Third one is going to be science and context. This, of course, is kind of self-explanatory. If you're dealing with something in the science field, this is great. It's also good for technology as well. The fifth one on our list is student resources and context. Again, this is an awesome one to use. Basically, this one is just going to be a compilation of a bunch of different topics that are common to students. So it grabs common topics from history classes and science classes and literature classes and throws them all into one database resource so that you can easily find things for projects. So that one's really cool. Last one is also self-explanatory. This is going to be U.S. history and context. you can kind of guess what's going to be in there. It's going to be US history. So if you're looking at a global issue, this is not going to be the database you're looking for. If, however, you're doing a research topic on something that happened in the United States in the past, this one's excellent. And some of your topics may actually fit into that category, which means that it's kind of worth getting a look through if it deals with your topic. So how do we use these? How do we figure out which one is best for us? You do have to look at your particular topic in which to decide. So for instance, one of the topic options is technology making us feel more alone? Is it making us feel isolated? If that was my topic, then I have a couple options here. I could look in the global issues. I could potentially look at opposing viewpoints. I could even maybe look down at student resources or science. I would definitely not be using the last one with US history. For this, because I know I'm writing an argumentative paper and this is actually a topic that does get debated, I'm going to start off by looking at the opposing viewpoints just to see if I can find anything. If I don't find anything, no big deal. I should only take a few minutes in there. If I don't find, I'll just come back here and I'll look at a different database. So let's check out opposing viewpoints. When I click on it, it is going to open up another new tab. Now, at this point, you may receive an alert. It might not open up the database for you. This is probably because you're sitting at a computer or a device that's not a school device. When we're at school and we're using either the Chromebooks or we're using a desktop computer, it already does have your login information and verifications as a user. However, when we're not at school, we do still have access to Gale. Only thing is, it's going to ask you for a password. If it does that, the password's really simple. It's just Lancers. That's going to be all lowercase. Lancers. Lancers. By typing that in and clicking enter, it should give you the access to the database. So follow me to the next video in which to explore this database and get started with trying to find technology and whether or not it's making us feel more alone.